Yeah, so welcome back to Goomada's Coins and Banknotes, and continuing on with the theme of Danish coins or Denmark, we are going to do the next monarch. So these are the coins that were in circulation up until 1947. All the 125 order, one's for holes, one's about most likely was still in circulation. All the silver is probably removed by 1920, or probably even 1925. That's when they issued the coins with holes to differentiate those for silver. The aluminium bronze coins were issued in 1924, and they are totally different from silver, so the silver ones would have been removed from circulation. Then in the Second World War, they issued aluminium, zinc, and they changed the design of the aluminium bronze one krona. So this is in the German occupied area. This is really one of the few base metal coins that was made not from aluminium or zinc or iron. So I think Slovakia did issue some silver coins as well, and basically most of the coins were just really cheap coins. So obviously they probably got this metal from Sweden, although I'm not too sure. Okay, so 1947, Christian X passed away, and then his son took over, so Frederick IX. So he continued to issue coins with a new design, and they were in zinc. So unlike Norway, which went back to issuing bronze coins for the 125 order, Denmark kept issuing these in zinc. So they kept the German occupied type of format, although the 10 and 20 order did go back to copper and nickel, and the aluminium bronze coins continued as the same. So these coins are pretty different than the previous series that we issued. So they removed the actual hole that was on the coin, although during the Second World War they did remove the hole that was in the coin that was issued. Okay, I'm trying to get the other coin. So these coins with the hole minted until 1941. Then they changed them to just a flat zinc planchet. They kept their design pretty similar, but these ones went back to a similar design that they issued to 1923. And on the other side was a totally new design during the Second World War. And in 1947 they changed the design again, so they took the plants off the actual reverse of the coin. Denmark is also on the reverse, and on the obverse, so the front of the coin, it's totally different. A lot of the field is just blank, which makes these pretty boring. And these are made out of zinc, although some of them have pretty untoned zinc. So these is probably kept in a good condition, or it's probably a slightly different metal. Probably put some manganese or something on it to actually stop it from toning. That seems to be in the later period. Now the other coins that were issued during his reign, or the first part is, so they had these zinc coins in circulation. They changed the whole 20, 10 and 25 order into a solid format, but they kept the size the same. They didn't issue a half krona, so this was last issued 1940, and they never issued it until they issued the 50 order in 1989 in the current series. But they did issue a new aluminium bronze coin, and they reintroduced the 2 krona. So that's the same design, not the same design, the same size as the previous 2 krona. So the coin size has never changed, although the designs did. So on the 1 and 2 they just had the coat of arms, so the 3 lines of Denmark, the date, the crown on the top, and on the other side they had the effigy of Frederick IX. And they have the Mint Master with the love heart down below of the Danish mint. So I actually found it a bit hard to get the 1 krone. These ones don't seem to have survived that much, and they're a bit expensive. So this one has, you can see it has a lot of dark lines on it. That is all lamination, means it's impurities in the metal, and then over time it just starts to flake off. This side seems to have bronze disease, so the green stuff. So I need to find out a way to actually get rid of that. Okay, the 10 and 20 øre were steel, copper, nickel. They're pretty boring. So it just has denomination and country name and a mint master. And down on the other side we have the, I think it's an oak, and some other plant on the other side with the date and FR for Frederick, Rex, the 9th. Okay, so this is the currency situation from 1947 to 1960. Now in 1960 they had some changes to the actual coinage. So what they've done is they reduced the size of the 5 øre and issued it as a bronze coin. So they reintroduced bronze for that denomination, although slightly smaller. It went from 27 millimeters to 24 millimeters. They changed the design of the 10 øre slightly. They also changed the design of the 25 øre, so they put plants on the other side, and also they changed the metal composition of the 1 krone. So they changed from aluminium bronze to a copper nickel. They no longer issued from 1959 the 2 krone, so 1960 that was no longer issued, and in 1960 they issued a 5 krone. So that's probably why they removed the 2 krone, was because they were issuing the 5 krone. So this one is 13 grams, 31.4 millimeters, and this one's 15 grams, 33 millimeters. So it's slightly increased in size. And the thing that's going to help people to distinguish it is actually the color. So to actually use this as a 5 krone, you need to change the color of the coin, so color it somehow, probably with paint. Although it wouldn't have worked well, because if people scrutinize it, it's quite easy for them to actually see it's not a 5 krone coin. So basically that is not the last change they had in Denmark, because in 1966 they issued another 25 krone coin, order coin should I say, and this time they put a hole in it. So it went from a 4.5 gram coin to 4.3 grams. But at this time the actual metal composition is not related to the actual denomination of the coin. That really only existed with coins that were silver or gold. So let's have a closer look at these coins. So the 5 øre went from a zinc to a bronze coin. But first we'll look at the 1 øre. So we'll just go have a look at the actual mintages for some of these coins. And you don't drop your coins like that. Silly me. So 1971, that's the second last year. 1972 is the last year, and then this coin was withdrawn from circulation in 1972. This one had a mintage of 21.9 million, so that's pretty common. 1970, 22.9 million. And it seems to be the standard since pretty much 1954. Most of all the coin mintages over 10 million. So 1954 had a mintage of 12.6 million. The key date's 1948 with 460,000. So that's probably, you're probably still paying about $5 for that, but these ones probably about $1 or $2. Then we have the 2 øre, so 1971 again. Has 35.8 million, so you should not have a problem getting this in uncirculated grain. And in 1969, 2 million. So really you shouldn't have trouble getting this in uncirculated grade. And the key, or the lowest mintage, is 1949 with 1.6 million. Still shouldn't be too hard to get, although getting it in uncirculated, being one of the older ones, is probably harder to get. So safe bet if you want to get an uncirculated one of these coins is the closer to the last mintage. Okay, we were talking about before, they changed the 5 and the 10 order. So these had an overlap mintage of 1960, 1962, 63, and 1964. That means both of these coins are minted and issued for circulation. Okay, so we have 1954 here. That has a mintage of 3 million. So that's pretty low for this coin. This one's 1963. Has a mintage. Okay, so we've got two 1963 here. So that's the overdate. So the zinc coin had 8.98 million. The bronze coin had a mintage of 23.286 million. So out of the zinc and the bronze, the zinc coins, the lower mint for 63 and 64. For 60, the lowest mint is the bronze. For 61, only the zinc coin was issued. For 62, the bronze coin is the lower mint with 5 million compared to 9 million. So really, in the early 60s, this coin was more common. In the late 63, 64, 65, this is the more common. So that's the changeover period. Anyway, so good luck trying to get both of these coins for circulation. So you can see they put a wheat on the actual bronze coin, put their mark up the top instead down below, get the denomination in the mint master. And on this side, this is pretty much the same. It's just a smaller design. Okay, the 10 order, they put oak on this side, and the plant is on the obverse of the coin of the earlier coins. So that's just a change in design, and I'm not too sure why they actually done that. Although the later coins are actually a lot more prettier. Okay, so as for the earlier coins, 1949 had a mintage of 7.5 million, 1954, 19.7 million, and the lowest mintage you're going to get is 1959 with 1.2 million. That seems to command the most. These are all just pretty much like 5 krona. But you'll be paying probably about 50-60 krona for the 1959. Now the other coins that we have here, we have 72, so the last year, 70, and 1969. So the lowest mintage is 1968 with 7.5 million. So really you pay about 5 krona or less for that. 69, 31.5 million. 70, 37.8 million. And 1972, 46.9 million. So these are really common. I wouldn't even pay 5 krona for any of those. Okay, the 25 öre. So these ones don't have the plant on the denomination side. And the fun thing is that these two overlap in mintage in 1960. And the ones with the hole, first issue 1966, overlap 1966 and 67. So 1960 for these two, 1966 and 67 for these two. So that's the overlap date you're going to get. Now the mintage for these coins I have, so these are both 1954, and the mintage for that is 9.5 million. And the lowest mint you're going to get for this is 1948 with 1.8 million. Really 5 krona or less you're going to pay for those. I wouldn't pay anything more myself. Okay, here we have 62, 1964, and 64 6.174 million. 1962, 12.5 million. So this is the lowest mint you're going to get, but really it's going to be common and paid less than 5 krona as well. And then we have the last coin, and I assume that all these circulated until this denomination was removed in 2008, or even to 1989 when they changed the size of the coin. Okay, the 1966-67 mintage, this one is included in the mintages for the other type of coin. So 1972, 31.4 million, 71, 12.7 million, 1969 we have 16 million. And the lowest mintage that we have is 1970 with 5.3 million. But still, these ones, yeah, probably 1 or 2 krona each. Okay, now with the aluminium bronze 1 krona coin, the key date is 1960. They only minted 100. So I assume if they minted more, they'll all melt it down. And these ones, the design is pretty similar, although the date's a bit smaller, and they just updated the effigy of the actual monarch, Frederick the 9th. So, and they changed it from a plain coin on the side to a milled. So 1948 has a mintage of 4.2 million, and the key date for this one, as I said, is 1960. Although 1959, 242,000, you'll be paying about 50 krona. With the 1960, wow, probably at least 50 to 100,000 krona. Okay, as for the aluminium, the copper and nickel coins, these ones have no aluminium. So we have, this one I actually got off the Danish embassy like when I was 14. They were pretty nice to actually send that. Okay, 1963, 32.08 million, so pretty common coin. 64, 5.985 million, so this is the second lowest mintage, with 1960 with 1 million being the key date. So 1960 you're probably paying at least 25 krona. This one, probably 5 krona on it, a little less. And these are still legal tender. So because the actual denomination is still in circulation, these can still be exchanged at the bank. Okay, 71, 13.9 million, 72, 21 million. So really, and these circulated up until the issuance of the current 1 krona coin. Okay, so then they removed the 2 krona. So this coin only weighs 13 grams, but it's 31.4 millimeters. So it's a bit light for a coin that size. And 1955 had a mintage of 456,971. So in this condition, you're paying at least 50 krona, or 10 Australian dollars. And the lowest mintage we have is 1959 with 192,180. 9, you'll be paying probably at least 100 krona, or 20 Australian dollars. So that's the actual cost of that coin. Then in 1960 they issued this one. So this is the first year here. And this follows the same design as the 1 krona, except they had oak going around. So 1960, oh, this weighs 15 grams, 33 millimeters. So still a light coin. 1960 had 6.4 million. 1964 had 1.44 million. This one's 1972, last year of issue, with 2,599,000. And the key date you want is 1969 with 71,780. And that one, 1969, probably I would expect nothing less than 100 krona. And these ones, they usually sell for at least 25 to 50 krona in pretty high grade. So it looks like they continued to use the banknote along this coin for some period of time afterwards, because it's only in 1961 that they issued these in numbers, 9.7 million. But still, that's really only like 1 per 2 people at the time. Then after that they declined, and it was only with the issuance of the current design that they issued them in great numbers in the first few years of issuance. So this coin had to build up in numbers before it supplanted the banknote. So I hope this helps you with your Danish coin collecting. So this is Frederick the 9th, so this guy here, and he passed away in 1972, and he was taken over by his daughter. So I've got that coin somewhere. Oh, I think I put it away. And this is the actual coin there. So they changed the coin design slightly after she took over, and her name is Marguerite II. But these coins are still legal tender, and they remained in circulation until they actually changed the coin to the current design that they have now. Although in 2025 that had been changed. So let me know what you think of these coins. I like the earlier coins with this design than the ones that we issue later. So thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time, and take care.